Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast. We have a full house today. I'm your host Ashwin, Varun and DJ are joining me as well. And actually in the second half of this week's show, we have a fun interview with the cricket badger who's collaborated with us a few times, but right ahead of the England Test Series, India-England Test Series, we thought we would get a little bit of a perspective from the England side. So Varun, let me start by asking you, actually, since we last recorded, the only thing we have to talk about is one T20, which normally doesn't take us a full episode at a full house, but it was quite a T20, or as we've been calling it, a T22. How are you feeling about that? I know it was late night your time. You probably woke up and saw DJ and I losing our minds in our collective WhatsApp. Was that a fun experience for you to wake up to?
Yeah, because I was traveling for work, so I saw India were 4 down, and then I managed to watch the whole Rinku Singh and Rohit Sharma show, which was great. And then I thought at 212, that was it. That was the game. So I went to sleep. And I was so confused when I woke up and I was late. So I was trying to bathe and change and read the messages and Google what happened and watch highlights and check out the scorecard. And I just couldn't figure out anything.
Yeah.
It was
and what
just
are the
too
rules?
confusing.
I don't think the umpires could figure out anything, to be honest, because there was some confusion on there, but we'll get to all of that.
Yeah, and the last time this happened, I think Mukesh was going to bowl to Preeti or something. That was the last time there was some double, triple, super over. But yeah, my mind was blown.
It took me a minute, but yeah, DJ, do you want to ask? I think it's interesting that Varun said India was 4 down and then Rohit and Rinku show, but to be honest, if I was traveling for work and it was 11 at night and India got 21 or 22 for 4, I probably would have switched it off. So kudos to you for powering through it. DJ, you want to run us through how the first couple innings went? Because mostly we want to talk about the super overs.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple of innings, the first 4 shots, I think, were people hitting across the line and hitting the ball straight up, right? And then so Yashasvi, Kohli, I think Dubey, I think Samson all got out in almost identical fashions, just hitting crossbar shots. A ball getting onto them a bit quicker than they expected, and we were 22 or 26 for 4, whatever. Then the man under the most amount of pressure, Rohit Sharma, 2 ducks, and then the best part is he hits 1 for 4, and the umpire gives it his leg by. So it's like Viru, thigh pad se diya kya or something. He
was too good.
And he said, "With 2-0 already maar gaya. Like a 2-0 already ho gaya, to abhi aur run nahi de raha."
It was so great. I mean, it was just great. I love seeing the interactions because it makes you realize how real the interactions with the umpires are. The guys, we are joking, but also we think he's Rohit Sharma, like he's captain of India in all 3 formats. But he's also thinking, shit, yeah, man, do duck ho gaya. Don't give me another duck. So anyway, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I mean, he was going at a runner ball for a long time. Sanju had come and gone. He'd got a lot of abuse. What an irresponsible shot. But clearly the idea was just keep going after the bowling, right? And then Rinku, who's a guy who hit 5 sixes to win a match, he had to come in and play a long innings, and he played a good thing, like kind of a knock where he got 69 not out. I mean, he finished with a flourish in the usual Rinku way. But for the longest time, India were going at a runner ball before Rohit just unleashed, and it wasn't like he wasn't trying to do that earlier. He hit 1, I think, when he was around 30, and he just went after that. And then everything seemed to hit the middle of his bat, and he was up and running. 212, Ashwin, honestly, at that point, you think that this is well beyond Afghanistan. But man, the knock that I think Nabi played and Gulbadin, and remember Gulbadin's the guy who captained Afghanistan in the 2019 World Cup, and he was famous for his Musselman celebration.
Who, by the way, I think Deepdas Gupta, somebody said he's the find of the tournament for Afghanistan.
He's captained them for 5 years
ago. Captained 6 years ago for them or something. It was great.
And the quality of we can get entirely distracted by talking about the quality of some of the commentators.
Truly shoddy analysis, if there ever was one. But yeah, I mean, you think that they were up and away, right? And but they just kept going, and we saw how Naib Gulbadin made 55, Nabi 34 of 16. Nabi hit 3 sixes, and he took Mukesh apart. He took our guy Bishi went for a few runs. The number 1 T20 bowler in the world still probably got smashed around in his regular spell. So 4 overs 38. But then the last over, they needed 2 runs to win. I think they needed 19 actually to win off the last over. And they needed
36
2 of the last.
2, so 19, yeah. And 3
And
to win off the...
The last over went for 36.
Yeah.
in the Indian innings,
yeah.
which was another great stat. But yeah, they managed to tie it. Gulbadin hits it out to cover. Rinku's throw was a bit weak. It reminded me a little bit of the finish to the 2019 World Cup where Jason Roy chucked it in. Butler broke the stumps, but the ball wasn't close enough to the stumps for Sanju to throw the bails down. Okay, so then they carry on batting. Nabi comes out again with Gulbadin, I think, and he kind of they miss a few, they get a couple away, and then the controversial moment arrives where on the last ball of the super over bowled by Mukesh, it hits the non-striker's pad and goes to Virat Kohli at long on. And Kohli is pissed that they not only run one of the overthrow, they've run two. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to pick up in that first super over?
Which got them 3 total. No, I think that's well said. I think Mukesh bowled the super over. They actually lost a wicket first ball, so there was a lot of pressure. And then kudos to them for getting a couple of boundaries. But yeah, I mean, interesting. Right? Precedent has been set a little by a World Cup where the throw. I mean, so much of this took us back to the World Cup final. Ben Stokes, the double super over, which wouldn't have existed.
Yeah, but that's the difference. It was totally unintentional with Ben Stokes. To be total, give that guy some credit.
I mean, it was great acting, but either way, he said like he didn't run. Like
no, but it hit his bat while he's diving full stretch, and it's gone off to the boundary. Right, he's not run, and he gets up and does his thing. So this was intentional. Like it was intentional in the sense that he didn't deflect it intentionally, but they ran the extra runs intentionally, which is within the laws.
Agree.
But it's the spirit of cricket issue, right? Because
but if we
in both cases you get the runs,
and so timed out, all of this stuff is now coming to the fore, right?
But if we are the people who truly say, like, listen, get runner at the bowlers, and because it's within the laws, we should stick to.
I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah, okay. I'm not happy with the 2 runs they took, but you have to be okay with it. That's how it works.
And I'm okay with it. And you saw Bangladesh timed out a batter in the Angelo Matthews in the World Cup, right? It's within the laws, may not be within the spirit of the game. It's a professional game. It's okay.
And I think stuff like, there's a whole separate debate to be had about laws evolving and changing and stuff. But it's the fact that stuff like boundary count, for example, doesn't exist is because only when you get in these awkward situations do you realize sometimes what the laws say. And we're going to talk a little bit about the awkward situation again, because in chasing in the super over, Rohit and Jaiswal come out. Varun, let me first ask you about that. Jaiswal didn't make runs. Rinku played, had just finished batting. He was probably still warm. Why did we not send him out right away, you think? What do you think the logic was in sending a Jaiswal along with Rohit?
He's a finisher in all formats, right? Whether it's 20 overs or 1 over. So it just has to be that. No, but I do think that I think Rinku should have gone out. It's just when I looked at the batting lineup, basically it just had to be Jaiswal, right? It just had to, because he's had on and off for the last couple of games, but when he hits it, he can really tonk it. So so I think I was okay with that. It was just surprising for me to see Virat Kohli just not in the game at all. Like he was just sitting on the side, legs crossed, and was just like, waiting. But yeah, first time I've seen that. Like Virat Kohli not being in the game is a big thing.
That's a whole different, and we will table that one for closer to the T20 World Cup. But I think him getting a duck in the third game didn't do him any favors. And I think obviously it's very telling that when you get to a super over and he's not in the fray, that means does it say anything about how much he's going to be in the fray for ongoing? But India come out 16 needed, 16 needed, 17 needed, 16 to tie. They get a couple singles and then 2 sixes, and it looks pretty good after Rohit hits these 2 sixes. Fifth ball gets a single, 2 runs needed. Rohit, clearly still agitated by the spirit of cricket, not in the laws thing, says he's at the non-strikers end. When you need 2, you want your fast guys. Kudos to him for recognizing he's on the wrong side of his career and is not the fastest batter anymore. So he tells the ump saying, "Listen, I'm gonna retire. Bring in," it was Rinku eventually, and he's going to run for me, basically. And you couldn't tell the Afghanistan camp was confused. There was commentators at the moment were thinking, this is brilliant. Listen, if your goal is to get 2 runs off the final ball, bring in your fastest guy. You're going to run as fast as you can. Varun, what was your take on that decision in the spur of the moment? And do you think Rohit had pre-thought this through, saying, listen, if we need runner, I'll do it? Or in the moment, he was just pissed and he was like, I'm on the set. If you can play with the laws, I can.
I think he realized that after a point he has no role, and he's like, I'm not sitting around for this. It's like, if you get up and you realize the PowerPoint needs to be done, you can just get up at 5 o'clock and go, right? Because somebody else has got to do the work. So Rohit, I think, has reached this stage where he's just like, I'm not running now. It's probably best for the team. And I think it was a very calculated risk, because even if it was a no ball or a wide, he was not coming into the game again. So I think it just made a lot of sense.
No, but that's the point, because...
But he did come into the game.
Yeah, for that over. We're talking about that over. Right?
Yeah, no. So you're right. But I don't know if he or the umpires figured out. So here's what happened. Jaspal missed the ball. They got a single. Scores were tied in the super over, which doesn't mean boundary count, which incidentally Twitter was blowing up saying they hit the same number of boundaries in this match. So I don't know what would have happened in the pre-rule change era. But rules have changed. It's another super over. Another super over means new bowler, not necessarily new batters, unless you had been dismissed. If you were out in the first super over, you could not come back. Guess who walks out? Rohit Sharma. In my mind, I'm going through this reaction of, listen, they used to be, when you retired, you used to be retired hurt. My understanding is there's now two types of retired. You can get retired hurt, in which is an injury, but I believe the key factor is consent from the umpire and the opposing captain.
Yes.
And the opposing captain that you were hurt, and if you go off retired hurt, you could come back on later. Or you can retire yourself out. Rohit, which is what Rohit said, listen, I don't need to.
Which is what Ashwin had done in the IPL, if you remember.
Correct.
He retired himself out.
Which was one of the first times it happened and people didn't understand, but you can retire as long as you're willing for it to be out. Scorecard, by the way, when Rohit went off, said 15 for 1, not 15 for 0. Right? So that's a scoring guy. But that's an important part. When Rohit went off, India had 15 runs and it said 15 for 1 because he was marked as retired out. And he walked back on. DJ, did the umpires make a mistake?
I think they've got that one wrong. I think India actually, yes, it would have looked like a master stroke if it had come off. But what if there was a bowler's end run out on the last ball? Right?
Yeah.
You lose the game then. Because I think Rohit had retired out because the opposing captain was not happy with that decision. You could see him questioning it with the umpire. Yep. You could see him like, what's going on, what's happening. And the commentators were really happy that this was a very clever move, that Rohit is not very quick, this, that. But it was a risk. Let's be clear. There was a risk that if this had been a bowler's end run out, India would have lost the game because you would have had both people out. Right? And because you've not had the consent, I don't think the opposing captain was happy with that at all.
But there's no way that the only mandate to Rinku was just don't get Mankad.
No,
right?
but that's it, right? Like, so I was watching Rinku and you see
he stood there. That's what I'm saying. So that's why
very clear.
There was no way that he was going to get out.
Yeah. But what if it was a wide and then, I guess a wide and a stumping
would have been... That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a calculated move. It's just the umpires got it wrong.
Agree. So Varun, your point is right. Rohit would not have come back into play in that first super over. But when he walked back out again, I think in that moment, listen, so I guess Varun, let me pose the question to you. Versus it being the final of a World Cup, the third match of a bilateral series that's kind of irrelevant to begin with, where the series has already been decided. This is where this was supposed to happen. This is where this should happen, right? So we learned.
But this is all we have, right? Like, this is all we live for.
We win all the bilateral.
Yeah, but that's what keeps us going.
We could cycle through sponsors. We went from Paytm to MasterCard to whoever. We could cycle through the sponsors and we keep winning the bilaterals.
But it was proper gully cricket fields, man. All of this was gully cricket fields. The ball going off Nabi's foot and them running and the Kohli getting pissed. The guy coming in just to run on the last ball. I don't even know why he wore pads. He should have just got a bat. Like, he should have come.
You don't need the pads, right?
Yeah. No, you have to. Because you do, right?
Why? He's not going to play a ball.
That would have been unbelievable.
What if Rinku hadn't come in time and it'd been timed out? That would have also been so Rinku had to sprint first to get there.
timed out off of a retired hurt.
Insane, right?
Can you
but
also
no one asked the question why Rohit didn't back himself to make the other end, by the way. In all of this, the fitness question doesn't turn up.
We all know that.
But because guess how he got out for the only time in the match? We'll come to it. But
he got run out, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the second super over.
But his yo-yo scores are higher than Kohli's, apparently.
Froyo scores.
Froyo, yeah. Froyo. That's it. That's it. That's the line of the year. I don't think
5 years. I think we've peaked.
This is it. We'll see you guys in 2025 for India's chase of the next ICC trophy. But after
Froyo scores, what a line! What I don't know how to bring it back from that, but okay. The only thing I think that would have made this whole situation more gully cricket is if Jaiswal while batting took off one pad and was just had his front facing pad on to get a little more speed while running.
Or it was no back runs or something.
Yeah, this is how we actually won. It's how we actually got the run. It went to the keeper.
Or bring it all back to everything that we stand for. If Jaiswal had got out one tip, one hand, that would have been ideal. All right, Rohit comes back on, hits a 6, hits a 4, and suddenly you're thinking, this is why they wanted him back on. He's an unbelievable touch. Gets a single, Rinku then gets out. And then Samson comes out next. So if you think about the pecking order, it was Rohit and Jaiswal, then Rinku, then Samson. To the point, DJ Virat wasn't in the fray. Yeah, thoughts on... you want to walk through that? Rohit then got run out and India ended up with 11 and Afghanistan only 12 to win.
Yeah, firstly, Samson also didn't get much of a game. Because
faced one ball in the main innings and one ball
in the main innings. And I was like, do you imagine being Sanju Samson? You've come for this and you've really not done anything. You've actually given away the buys at the end. There was no need for him to throw that in the first super over, by the way. And he's given away the buys. And then he comes in, he faces one more ball, and Rohit runs through and is run out. And that's the end. And so Samson has played 2 balls in the match. And yeah, it's pretty sad, like his game overall. But at that point, it was only 11, right, that we got on the board.
Yeah, 11, 12 to win.
Yeah,
and because
I thought we were done. The Afghanis were celebrating like they'd won the game, and then both of us were sitting up because of course Varun was asleep. Tell the listeners what we were talking about. Who's going to bowl that over?
Yeah, we were. In less polite, more colorful terms, basically going through if Rohit is a risk-taking captain. I mean, the person who we had zero faith would defend 11, because remember Mukesh can't bowl again, was Avesh. And Avesh was warming up. He's warming up. Avesh is warming up pitch side. Rohit likes to do these theatrics a little. And it was basically, we were convinced. And at the last second, they cut the cameras and they said, hey, Bishnoi is kind of also warming up. And when you have 11 to defend, you shouldn't give it to a spinner. But realistically, people are lauding it as a great captaincy decision, but realistically, Varun, if you have 11 to defend and you have Bishnoi or Avesh, you're not giving the ball to Avesh, unfortunately. Maybe 2019, 2020 Avesh, but not present day Avesh.
No chance. No chance.
And I was all for Sundar, by the way. Washi.
Yeah.
3 for 19 in the main game.
How much did he go for? 3 for
19? 3 for
19.
I think he took.
It's 200 plus run game, right? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that is actually very good. Somehow Sundar...
3 for 18,
I don't know,
actually.
18.
3 overs.
I feel like he has very off days and very on days. There's no middle with him.
He took a catch also in this game, which was unbelievably good of Bishi.
Yeah, so that,
get the first wicket.
That makes it even more that... I don't know. That was a surprising decision, but great, man.
Yeah, so... Not a lot else to say. Bishnoi comes on, wicket, single, wicket, and the game is over. Afghanistan loses 2 wickets in 3 balls in the second super over, and India wins. I mean, just so much more than we thought even to unpack. What a wild super over. I'd be interesting if you have a point of view, send it in to us on Twitter or in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube about whether the umps got it wrong. Varun, final kind of closing thoughts. Did this T20 series actually help us in any way in World Cup preparation?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I was going to say, I have one question. Let me first address your thing. I don't think it helped us much. I think it proved that if Rohit and Kohli are available for selection, they will play. So Rohit has got his captaincy and his attacking opening. So I think he's a certainty. For me, it all comes down to, is Kohli going to step away or is Kohli going to just be available and then play? You've seen Ravichandran Ashwin come out with some comments about, the Caribbean will be like Chepauk, and so you need somebody like a Kohli to steer the ship for 20 overs. And I don't know, man. I don't know if there's place for that in T20. But generally, I don't think it helped us that much. Now, the question I have is, I think this is our last T20 international before the World Cup, as in we've played it, right? Who is our
think so.
keeper?
I think that's the big question. Man.
Yeah.
that is
without going into too much discussion, give me like a name. Like all three of us pick a name. Who is our keeper?
It's going to be Sanju, man. For me,
based on
based on the
he's
one match.
experienced. He's done stuff and he captains an IPL team. For me, I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
he plays the brand of cricket which we need to play to win.
Yeah, in theory. Ashwin, you?
I think they saw from Jitesh what they wanted to in terms of an attacking mindset. So I'm going to be optimistic and say Jitesh gets a look. I know what you're going to say because we've talked about this. But
yeah. For me, it's one man only.
Strike rate.
KL Rahul.
Strike. I knew it.
Because KL Rahul has said he's going to play middle order in the IPL. Yeah. He's going to pile on the runs. He's going to win games for Lucknow. And he kept for the ODI World Cup. So, anyway, there you have it. We have three different names.
Yeah, we have three different names. I think
which tells
Rinku,
you a lot,
but Rinku doing so well as a finisher, I think probably counts against Jitesh in a way. Because he's the finisher with Rinku, right?
I mean, Rinku's the first name on the sheet, man. Like,
yeah,
sure, so there's Sky, but...
Dude, Rohit,
you add in Rinku and Sky and you can... You add in Rinku... If you add in Rinku and Sky, you maybe don't need more finishers. I think the most successful T20 sides have brought in 5 guys who can play that finisher role. And it'll be interesting to see, especially if Rohit and Kohli both make it. I don't think, and we'll talk about it extensively more, we got to move on, but I don't think Rohit and Kohli both find a way into the top 7. I just don't know how you do it, said differently.
I think they'll find a way.
They'll find a way, and that will mean, unfortunately, our top 6, call it, will be subpar. But we have to talk about the Test cricket. We love how quickly we can pivot as Indian cricket fans, and equivalent, we'll do this on the show. DJ, I know the second half you're going to talk the England side. So let's talk a little bit about just kind of, Varun, your overall take on the first 2 tests that are coming. The squad's been announced for India. The first test is at Hyderabad. Any kind of surprises for you? DJ and I talked a little bit on last week's episode about kind of, do you pick 3 spinners? And if you do, who are they? And then, any questions on the batting order? So let me first ask you the spinners question. Do you pick 3 spinners in the 5 tests against England? And if so, which ones?
Yeah, definitely. You definitely pick 3 spinners. No surprises in the squad. I think you got to have Ashwin and Jadeja. And I think you play Akshar in the Ahmedabad test and you play Kuldeep outside Ahmedabad.
That's it. Akshar is an Ahmedabad specialist, basically.
Yeah, didn't he? When was the last time they played? Like, he got 7 in an innings or something.
DJ will remember this, but he's...
In 2021 or 2022? I don't know. He took 7 wickets in Ahmedabad or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he took 27 wickets in 3 test matches.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, and then... Because probably...
Shahbaz played the first test match, if you remember. Instead of Akshar.
What a throwback that is. And you have Bumrah and Siraj. And then, from a batting standpoint, Varun, I'm asking you again only because DJ and I talked this at length, but Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, Kohli, I think the big difference is the announcement that Rahul will not keep in the series.
Has it been announced or is it a rumor?
I thought Dravid said it in a press conference, but to be honest, these days you're never 100% sure what's true.
I also saw very, very strong inclination for him not to. And KS Bharat has done well.
Yeah.
In these practice matches. So I see it. It's an odd debate. We don't have to get into it, but essentially it's like you want KL Rahul to keep in South Africa against the quicks, but you don't want KL Rahul to keep against the spinners in India. Something feels odd to me about that. But I would play KL and I would play Shreyas because that's the middle order that you are kind of building. But if what you're saying is right, that means I think it'll be KL and KS.
Yeah, because Bharat just scored 100 as well against the Lions, right?
Yeah, and he is a better keeper, there's no doubt.
So to answer the question, it's being reported in the news, but it's being reported by a BCCI source. So unclear if it's actually official, but it is being reported that Bharat's been informed he'll keep. Right. DJ. as we get to the end of this first half of the segment, I believe you have a quiz prepared for us. Do you want to walk us through this or walk our listeners? We have no idea what you're going to unleash on us, so this is going to be great.
Yeah, so obviously Ashwin's been out till late last night, so it's early morning for him, and Varun's almost asleep. So this is a really good time to do a quiz to test their memories. But I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier. It's going to be post 2012. So that's the last time England beat India in a test series in India. So I believe it's called the Anthony de Mello Trophy. No comment.
Sure.
The Pataudi Trophy is what we play for in
Is that a question?
In England, not yet. Maybe. But I'm going to ask 10 questions. I think we'll go alternate order, and if you pass, then the other person gets an option, or you get it wrong, the other person gets a chance. Just one answer, please, per question, not multiple answers. I'll take your first answer when I hear it. You probably have one. I can try and give you one hint for a question if I have a hint. So let's do that. So who wants to go first? Younger brother, elder brother, beauty before age? What are we doing?
Given if it's his birthday this weekend, so maybe we go with the birthday boy.
Okay,
Right,
so beauty before age. Let's go. Ashwin, in which city did India and England play their first test match in India after the 2012 series?
After the 2012 series. I mean, there's no chance.
So it's the 2016 series, right?
Yeah.
There's only been 2 series. Where did they play the first test match of that 2016 series?
There's no chance I actually remember this, so I'm going to guess Chennai?
Nah. Varun?
Nagpur?
Ooh, it's not far. It's Rajkot. That's not a bad shout.
Oh.
It was a drawn test match. Okay. Ooh, Varun's got... Name the Indian batter who scored a century on his debut in the 2016 test series against England.
Indian batter who scored
a century on his debut in the 2016 test series against England.
a hint?
It was not just a century.
Oh my God, Karun Nair.
That is right. So you've used up your one hint, by the way.
That was too big a hint.
Oh, that was I thought you said a hint per question.
No, it's one hint. You've used up your one hint. So Varun, you get 1 point. Ashwin on 0. Okay. In 2021, India secured a historic test series win against England at home. Who was the captain of the Indian team during that series?
It was Virat?
That's right. So you get an easy one as well.
I'm like, wait.
They're easy ones. There's no googlies in
I was thinking I was like, wait, was there some Rahane situation going on? Who, by the way, has made back-to-back ducks in the Ranji Trophy. So
and said, I can't wait to get back to playing for India.
Not making a great
Maybe he needs to take some rest. Don't you think? Maybe he needs a rest day or two. Varun, so it's 1-1, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Name the English bowler who achieved the best bowling figures in a test innings against India in the post-2012 era. Best bowling figures in a test innings against India in the post-2012 era. It's not Ashley Giles.
No, I know. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's not Adil Rashid because that's a trick now. Who's the other spinner in the 2021 series? Jack Leach?
That is right.
Right.
2021.
Man, that was good.
That was a good one, dude. Nice. So it's 2-2.
There was one more spinner, right? I can't remember.
Do you remember? If you say his name really fast, it sounds like an insult.
I have no idea.
Dom Beth.
Dom Beth.
7th question, Ashwin, for you.
Yeah.
Which Indian batter scored a double century in the first test match of the 2021 series against England?
Indian batter. Double century. Was it Indian batter double century?
Sorry, did I say England batter double century?
England batter double century.
Yeah, sorry.
Joe Root.
That is correct.
I thought you said. I remembered. I didn't remember.
No. Joe Root.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry.
Great.
Again, I'm a terrible quizmaster.
You may have
That's
said
probably
England,
well
but
matched
in the
with
speed,
like
I was thinking.
bad quizzes.
Yeah.
Eighth question. 2016 series, Varun. Which Indian cricketer became the first to score 4 double centuries in consecutive Test series? (2016), and it's an immortal line from Nasir Hussain. He scored it at the Wankhede. You have no recollection of it. You may as well guess. That's like a few guys.
I mean, I think it's Pujara or Kohli.
You've given your first answer as Pujara, so that's wrong. Ashwin?
Kohli?
It's Super Saturday and it's King Kohli.
Oh, dude, that's crazy, man.
Okay, so
Okay.
Ashwin, you're now well ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I can be caught. Plus,
Right.
I have 2 hits.
4-2. So you have.
So do you wanna let somebody else come in and play the last?
I'm going to retire.
So okay. Who won the Player of the Series award in the 2021 Test series between India and England in India? 2021.
Akshar Patel? Yeah. Wait, is it my question? Yeah, it's my question.
Yeah.
I'm going with Akshar Patel.
I'm just going to double check this answer.
Because you said 27 wickets, we just talked about it. So it might be wrong, but it feels like a decent guess.
I mean, he took half of those in Ahmedabad, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be either Akshar or Ash. I guessed Akshar, but...
I'm just sorry. I'm going to have to double check this one because the list of award winners. So I would really want to be right.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Was it Ash?
And it is because he scored that 100 as well.
Yeah.
Chennai. So good shout though. Good shout. You didn't let Varun get the steal, so I guess you're now
First time you
equal.
didn't get the obvious answer.
Yeah, seriously. It's been too easy for me.
And then identify the venue where the 4th Test match of the 2021 series between India and England was played. Varun, this is your question. The 4th Test match, 4th and final.
I've got no clue. I got no clue.
Ashwin?
I'm just gonna say
it was the
Varun,
last
wait.
one.
Let Varun give the answer.
Yeah.
I'll say Ahmedabad.
That is right.
Yeah.
It's the Narendra Modi
Last
Stadium.
time.
I've
It was
only
during
said it
COVID.
how do I know it's the 4th test?
Because there were only 4 tests.
The last
See ya,
one.
the
That was the
Garba, mate.
last one. See you at the Garba.
That was a pink ball test, which is the 3rd one. Nice. So,
bad. Good
birthday
quiz, my
weekend prize for you.
What is it? 4-3? Just about, right?
Who's
But I didn't
keeping?
use any
Who's
hits.
keeping score?
Who's keeping score?
Who's
really?
keeping? I don't know. Someone must have kept score. I'm sure our listeners will
Yeah.
tell us. But that's the quiz, man. That's back to you. Well done,
Awesome.
Ashwin, for winning pretty convincingly, despite being hungover and half asleep.
No comment. All right. This was great. This was a lot of fun. By the time we're joining you next, India and England would have started their test series. It's very possible it would be finished too. I hope not. The first test might be over.
Yeah, but this time all of them are like on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, but they start on a Friday, right? Tests used to start on Thursday, sometimes Wednesday.
Even
so that
Wednesday. That's what I'm saying. This time they've learned. That's what I'm saying. Most start on Friday.
So not a lot of confidence from any of the three of us, or clearly the BCCI that there'll be long tests. But let's see how it goes. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned. Second half of the show, we are joined by the Cricket Badger, like we said. DJ got a great chance to talk to him. So we'll be right back to talk about a little bit more of the India-England Test series. But if this is all you've listened to so far, hit the like button on YouTube or subscribe button. We're at One Tip One Hand on all the social networks. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll be right back to talk a little bit more about the England Test series.